Hi guys, it's Evelyn and welcome back to another This Runner Loves Purple Daily. And today is supposed to be a recovery day. I missed my interval session as I did say yesterday, but I did go ahead and do a hill run or speed work on the hills. So that was, I say fun. I completed it and that was a good thing. It was up a shorter but steeper hill than the one I normally do at Stocking Stone. And it was basically speed sprints up and down the hill. So the first time was 4 times up and down with a break, and then 3 times up and down, and then 2 times up and down. And it was hard work, but did it. And then today, and because I did that, I was going to do my actual interval session from yesterday today. And then I thought, oh, I've got another chance to do my trail run to get a better time, try and get that hour goal. And so I thought I'd do that. I was planning to use the interval sessions to run it, but then I thought it wouldn't really work as well because there's inclines, it's muddy, etc, etc. So I just said, okay, I'm just going to forfeit that interval session. I possibly could do it on Friday, but we'll see what happens. So there's still a chance for me to do all 4 this week if I choose to. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, so the trail run, I was on a mission to try and get to an hour at least. And then I was looking back last night over cross-country races that I've done, and I've never really got less than an hour and 2 minutes, I think. So 1 hour 5 running on my own is actually not too bad. Well, 108 I was on my own, 105 I was with Vicky. So anyway, 108, 105 is not too bad, not being in a race situation, and with the amount of mud and rain there has been, so I should be happy with that. But I thought I'll give it one more chance, try and get there. Both Vicky and somebody else have gone under 1 hour, so I can do it, I can do it. That's what I thought in my head, and I think I could do it, but unfortunately today I didn't. And my excuses are, for a start, I started off really well. I did actually, before I started, do about half a mile of a jog, and I did some dynamic stretches, warm-up exercises, and so that was a good start. And then my first 1K, if I look at the previous runs, I was doing them really slow. It was like my warm-up. So today's first K was at 6 minutes 15 seconds. That's the fastest I've done the first 1K for a long time, for anything really. So I was like, yes, I'm going good. And then after the end of the first K, we actually enter into the going across the field into a turnstile, which is a bit muddy with a pool of mud. So you have to step through that, and then it was quite muddy crossway. And so I've picked up my pace from before, but it was still not fast. But it was basically faster than before. Then I ran down the hill, I ran all the way down it, a slow paced run, but I didn't stop like I have done in the first few attempts. Got to the bit where there's a bridge with a dip, where it's basically totally muddy. It's a dip that you run through. Ran through that portion, got to a bit of the track where it was sort of solid mud, but it was still muddy in places, and I was running along, picking up speed, so happy. Then ahead of me, I could see, I think 7 or 8 dogs with one owner, all off their leash, all running around. And like, I'm afraid of dogs, and normally this is what I do. I hold my hands up, slow down, try not to, I think like I'm trying not to scare them so that they don't attack me. So like slow down, hands up, just trying to make sure that they don't chase me basically. And so that slowed me down a little bit. I thought my heart rate would show that it was higher at that point, but it just doesn't show that. And I think that was just after the second K. But anyway, so I sort of ran through them, and they were just round me barking, like my worst nightmare ever. And then I just carried on going through them as confidently as a scared person can do. And then I could just hear this barking, still scared. And this one little one wouldn't leave me alone. It basically kept running with me and barking behind me. And I could hear the owner calling it, him or her, and it just didn't want to leave me. And I was like, oh my gosh, please leave me alone, please leave me alone. But yeah, and then I think it just wanted me to acknowledge it, and I just wasn't going to do that because I was too scared that I'd be bitten or something, and so it gave up in the end. But that was a bit of a traumatic experience for me, and I think that just lost my momentum for the rest of the run. And then I carried on, and I just couldn't pick up my speed after that. Got up to the bit where it's hard standing, so you join Lily, and then you run up the road past the pub. And at that point I was walking. I was like, why am I walking? I don't need to walk, I'm not tired, why am I walking? I just couldn't get back into it, so still sweaty. Yeah, so I think I kiboshed my run today. But after that, picked up a little bit, then I saw another owner and their dog, and as I was coming, she was taking the dog off the leash. So there's me again doing this, and she goes, oh, she's okay, just keep running, you'll be all right. It's like, oh, why do dog owners always say that? They'll be all right, they'll be all right. You don't know. I don't know. But anyway, they were all right. They just carried on, looked at me, but carried on. So that was my second slowdown. And then after that, all I could do is like just run up the hills and then walk when you get to the top. Don't get too tired. Run up the hills and walk when you get to the top. Don't tire yourself out more than you need to. And so that's what I did for the rest of the run. Encountered a tractor trimming the hedges, so I had to run around that. And yes, a very eventful run. But I sped up once I got off the trail portions back onto the road. I looked at my time and I was like, okay, I'm still under an hour, but I still had like about 1.5 miles to go, and which I was definitely quicker at this point leaving that section, but I definitely wasn't gonna get that rest of that done within an hour. So I was like trying to get to closest to 1 hour and 1 or 1 hour and 2 as I could. But in the end, finished off with 1 hour, 3 minutes and 17 seconds. And I basically stopped my watch about 0.3 or 0.03 of a K longer than the last 2 runs. So it could have been less, but what does it matter? What, 2 or 3 seconds? So 1:03.17, which is about 2 minutes faster than when I ran with Vicky. So I'm happy with that, but I just know that if I hadn't encountered the dogs, especially the first 7, if I hadn't encountered them, I wouldn't have lost my momentum and I would have done better. I'm not saying I would have done less than an hour, but I definitely would have performed better, because it was traumatic for me. That might be extreme, but you know, if you're scared of something, you know what I mean. But yeah, it sort of kiboshed my run, and I don't think I'll do it again. Who knows, but I'm going to submit today's time. I'm not going to bother worrying about it. If I do it again and I do it a better time, then maybe I'll see if I can resubmit it, but I don't know. I'm not happy about that. You can tell I'm not happy, and I've been enjoying this route, and today those dogs just put me off it totally. So yeah, it was a good run. Maybe not a recovery run, especially after doing the hills yesterday, but I improved my time even with the walking, so I shouldn't be too disappointed. And yeah, blame the dogs is what I'm going to do. It's all the dogs' fault. Anyway, that's me for today. A little bit of a story time for you. Hope you enjoyed that. If you did, please do like it. And if you haven't subscribed already, please do go ahead and subscribe, and I'll see you tomorrow for another one. Take care. Bye.